I'm Taylor Paravantes. I'm the illustrator for Western Canada Theatre. I've been working for the theatre for quite a few years, since 2018. In my day-to-day, I'm a creative director. I deal a lot with branding, advertising, posters, things like that, but mostly for healthcare. So in that role, I do a lot of helpful work, but I do find that working for the theatre is sort of like my dessert project. I get to come here and meet, with the team, and we talk about it. And I just can't wait for the next season to come. The theme this year was breaking ground. So we also had to determine another sort of side of things where we had to incorporate the feeling of Kamloops, the idea that there's a sort of monumentous moment happening with the 50-year anniversary, and that we're wanting to capture that in illustration that we can use sort of throughout the whole marketing package, bringing it to the theatre. So that was that sort of pastel, abstract but somewhat Kamloopsian feel of work that we did. It's really hard to explain the process. I just sort of feel that my brain combs through it at a level that I'm not actually aware of to start, and I find myself just making notes. So in one case, I was reading Inner Elder, and I just got this picture of this will sound crazy, but like a UFO coming down, picking up the woman's grandmother, and somehow the suitcase opening up. And they were all elements that were in the play, and they actually didn't necessarily make it into the final piece. We ended up with a lovely figure with the grandmother in the background and a constellation. I also do a lot of research in my work because I like to find sort of a bit more depth that would support the play. Another poster that I did, for example, was The Woman in Black. I knew there was a little twist in that play, so to create that eerie feeling, I sort of had a tilted building, I had shadows in the moon that looked like a woman. I just tried to create that atmosphere without being fully obvious about it, just keeping that energy kind of a little bit off balance and spooky. Sometimes that sort of image isn't even possible in real life. I'm forming something that is a combination of just intuition and inspiration, and sometimes it comes together in a second. Sometimes it takes a lot of sort of back and forth between the creative director, the marketing team, even the playwright themselves. There's quite a interesting synergy, I guess, that happens. And it's often quite fun to see sometimes the things that we talked about at the beginning of this process in the play. When I've gone to see it, I see sort of where we talked about that, and it's that aha moment, like we all kind of got there. I may not be acting it out, but I'm really living each of the plays, and I'm so lucky to be able to get that preview and to read these great plays before some of them have even been finished. I'm in such a privileged position. I'm Taylor Paravantes, and my Western Canada Theatre is inspiring.